I will start this off saying there is a history of bad blood between my brother and I, and that may be clouding my judgment, hence why I am here. I, 34-year-old female, for the last several weeks I've been taking my brothers, 37-year-old male, two youngest kids, 5-year-old boy and girl, to school. I already didn't want to do this to start with because it interferes with the routine that I previously had set for another of my nieces that I have guardianship of. Oftentimes he's running late and the kids aren't ready, which in turn makes my kid late for school as well. Then it became taking him places, like to the store or work after dropping all the kids off and then getting angry at me when I don't want to. There is also the fact that I just plain don't like his kids, especially his daughter. I love them because they're family, but I don't like them. His daughter is mean, bossy, and a flat-out bully that always torments her siblings, and my brother doesn't do anything to stop it because she is the golden child. And his son, for the most part, is fine, but he can act out and be mean too, often calling me names or kicking my seat while I'm driving. And when I get upset and try to get him to stop, my brother gets mad at me. Today, though, was a day where everyone was running late, me included, and he wanted me to run him to work, but that was impossible without making me late to my own job. He then goes on a long rant about how he doesn't have help, nobody cares about his kids or wants to help him, etc., etc. He doesn't appreciate anything, and no matter what you do, it's never enough. He always wants more, and I'm exhausted all the time because I work a very demanding job that has long hours, and I don't want to do the extra running with his kids anymore because of how unappreciative and ungrateful he is with his constant demands for more. But I know that if I stop giving them a ride, the kids will have no way to get to school, because my brother doesn't have a car or a license. So, would I be the jerk if I stopped giving them a ride? Tialdar, I don't want to give my brother's kids a ride to school every day because he doesn't appreciate it and always demands more. But if I stop, he has no way to get them to school. Edit. I've been getting this question a lot, so I'll add the info here. My brother's kids can't use the bus because they live too close to the school. They live in that awkward area that is too far to walk, but not far enough that they qualify to use a school bus. And he doesn't have a license because he had his license suspended and can't get it back until he pays roughly $10,000 in fines. Now here are the comments. Comment 1. NTA. Obviously your brother only sees you as an Uber, except he doesn't feel he has to pay. You need to set down a hard boundary of this attitude. His whining about nobody wants to help him may be due to this, you think? If you decide to keep driving him and his kids around, sans payment, there are some rules he and the kids have to follow. First, they can't be late. Second, the kids better damn well behave themselves and quit being brats. The first offense will result in you ending the life of the whole deal. If he can't deal with the rules, then he can find another way to get him and his kids around. You're done. Him and his kids' transportation is a him problem, not a you problem. When he starts whining, put in earplugs and just smile at him. You don't need this shoot, and you are no longer going to put up with it. Comment 2. NTA. I had to do the same thing with my 24-year-old female sister, 33-year-old female. She would always ask me to pick my niece and nephew up from daycare when I got my two kids, and then would expect me to drive them 30 minutes home when she got off work, but I live in another town. Once I stopped helping, I became the bad guy. But I will tell you, the stress that has left me since I don't have her kids is amazing. Her kids are 2-year-old female and 4-year-old male. Mine are 11 months female and 3-year-old female. Her children are so mean to my kids, yet when I correct them, I'm the bad guy. It wasn't worth it anymore. My oldest became hurtful because that's how my sister's kids acted, and once that happened, I was done. Comment 3. NTA. Of course, you realize now your mistake was starting this at all, but what's done is done. Now, it's time to give your brother a 2-week notice that you will not be driving his kids or him anywhere unless it is an absolutely emergency. Observation. There is no law that you have to love your niece. It always amazes me that people think they are required to love someone simply because they're related. Your niece sounds distinctly unlovable. Now for the next story. I'm 23 years old. In middle school, I was excluded and treated harshly by my classmates. I lived in a predominantly Asian area and am also Asian myself. However, I was never seen as Asian enough by most of my peers because I was chubby and didn't do well in school, neurodivergent. They would constantly be passive-aggressive towards me and act like I was a pest whenever I tried to be nice. As a result, I started resenting them and started hanging out with people who actually accepted me. Today, I have changed a lot. I lost a lot of weight after high school, and I made friends with a photographer who helped me start a career in modeling. While I'm not as successful as Naomi Campbell, I do high-fashion editorial modeling. I am proud of my position and recognize that I am very fortunate to be where I am. Last night was my middle school reunion. I have a good group of friends that I have known since middle school, so we all went together. When we arrived, I felt uncomfortable and only spoke to my group or to people who didn't treat me poorly. Whenever one of the people who used to treat me badly tried to talk to me, I ignored them and continued to talk without looking at them. I didn't see it as an issue since they did the same thing to me. However, it seems to have irritated one of the guys who had humiliated me in middle school by posting my low test score. He approached me and tried to talk to me, but I simply ignored him. He then told me that I thought I was better than everyone else and that I was acting like a stuck-up person. In response, I told him that I am better than everyone else, and that's why I have a more successful career. We exchanged some words because I mentioned how he treated me poorly and therefore shouldn't feel entitled to my time or respect. At that point, my friends suggested that we leave. Personally, I feel like you treat others the way they treat you, and they all treated me poorly in middle school. My friends were on my side, but some of them felt that I could have tried to be nice to keep the peace. Am I the idiot? Now, here are the comments. Comment 1. Look, I get that being young is hard, but this seems like a non-violent revenge fantasy. First problem, I can tell you that a lot of people over the age of 21 don't recall what happened in middle school. We may remember a vague feeling about someone, but probably not as specific as you mentioned. Second, there has never been a middle school reunion. High school or college reunions, yes, but most people wouldn't go. Nobody in their right mind would attend a middle school reunion. Third, it seems like you Googled a famous model from 10 years ago to make yourself sound older. You're probably around 13 years old. Now, if we read this the way I do, let's give you an everyone sucks here. Yes, they suck for being mean and entitled, but you also suck because your actions and words are completely childish. Something a 13-year-old would do. Just saying. Comment 2. You're the idiot. You're an adult now, so you shouldn't act like the way those people did when they were middle schoolers. I understand not wanting to talk to them, but telling them that I'm better than all of you is just cringy and unnecessary. Comment 3. Who has a middle school reunion? Interesting. So basically, to punish the children that acted like children, you, as an adult, acted like a rude child. Gotcha. Yep, you're the idiot. Now for the next story. Me, 27-year-old female, and my boyfriend, 32-year-old male, came on vacation together. I paid for his flight and for most of the excursions thus far, and since we got here, he's been in contact with his childhood best friend named Monica. I've never met this girl, but I've heard about her in passing. Since we arrived, she's been blowing up his phone. Earlier today, he asked me if I would allow him to meet up with her alone so they could catch up. I asked why I couldn't go, and he said because he wanted to tell her things and didn't want to make her feel bad in front of me. I said no. I told him we could all go out together to eat or to a bar. This was around 11 p.m. He did not solidify any plans, so I figured we were staying in for the night. I took a shower, did my skincare, and went to sleep for the night. It's now 2 a.m., and he very silently whispered, "Okay, babe, I'll be back," almost as if to not wake me up. But I heard it, woke up, and was like, "Where are you going?" He told me he was going out with her. I immediately got up and got upset and asked him why he was sneaking out, and it started a huge fight. He ended up not leaving, and now I'm starting to feel bad about maybe being so butt-stuff about it. He keeps saying I don't let him do anything, and I'm lame for going to sleep at 11 p.m. while we're on vacation. We were out all day on an 8-hour excursion, so I was pretty tired. He is super upset about it, and I just need to know, am I the jerk for ruining his plans? Now here are the comments. Comment 1. 1. Who paid for the vacation is irrelevant. 2. He's behaving rudely and suspiciously. He should want to introduce you to her over coffee or lunch. 3. A request to meet her in a hotel bar to drink and catch up for an hour or two is fine after you have met her, for a limited period of time, with the understanding you can join them or not if you find the reminiscing boring. Personally, I love hanging back listening to people talk about my guy when he was younger, but not everyone does. 4. The slipping out at 2 a.m. is totally suspicious. Not the idiot, and what the frick is wrong with your boyfriend? And her too, frankly. Comment 2. Not the idiot. His behavior is suspicious at best. He totally thought he could say he told you he was leaving and you didn't say anything, so he thought it was fine. He assumed you were dead asleep and wouldn't hear it. Leaving at that hour to meet up with another woman who you had already expressed you didn't want him to is really not okay. You came on vacation together and didn't know anything about this childhood best friend. She's not part of your mutual vacation plans, and it's odd he wants to meet her alone during the vacation you're on together. Comment 3, lol, not the idiot. He's clearly trying to frick around. Not allowing you to come along is a big red flag. He should be happy to introduce you as part of his life. Sneaking off at 2 a.m. while you are asleep is just beyond insane. It's all but catching him red-handed. Yeah, maybe he prefers parties to excursions, but he could have communicated that, and he knew what the plan was. Just sounds like a childish and over-entitled jerk. Now, for the next story. Hey, Reddit. Throwaway account for obvious reasons. I'm writing this from my mobile as I'm out of the house. For reasons you'll see, so I'll try my best with the formatting. I feel like I'm going crazy in the last few days and could use some outside perspective on whether I'm in the wrong or not. The situation. So, my wife, 29 years old, and I, 31 years old, have been married for 5 years, and overall, we've had a great relationship. However, we've recently hit a rough patch when it comes to our finances. My wife is a stay-at-home mom to our 2 kids, 3 years old and 5 years old, and she does an incredible job. I work a demanding job that requires long hours, but it pays well enough for us to live comfortably. We've always had a joint account where my salary goes, and she handles all the expenses from there. The issue. Lately, I've noticed that our savings have been dwindling faster than usual. I sat down and went through our expenses, only to find out that she's been making some questionable purchases. I'm talking about luxury items like designer handbags and spa treatments, amounting to thousands of dollars. I tried to talk to her about this, and it didn't go well. She argued that since she's taking care of the kids full-time, she deserves to treat herself from time to time. I get it, being a parent is tough, but it feels like there should be some moderation. My stance. I believe in treating oneself, but within reason. We need to think about our children's future and have a safety net for emergencies. I suggested that we set a budget for personal expenses, so we can both enjoy some freedom without jeopardizing our financial stability. Her reaction? She was not happy about this proposal at all. She accused me of being controlling and not appreciating the sacrifices she makes as a stay-at-home mom. She thinks I'm being stingy and that I don't understand how important self-care is for her mental well-being. The dilemma. Here's where it gets tricky. I recently discovered she's been having private shopping sprees without my knowledge, sometimes maxing out our credit cards. When I confronted her, she got defensive and accused me of not trusting her. This has led to a major rift in our relationship, and I'm seriously questioning whether I can trust her with our finances anymore. Anyways, I'm at a loss. Am I the jerk for wanting to establish some boundaries on our spending, given this new revelation? Is there a compromise that I'm not seeing here? Or do I need to take more drastic measures to protect our financial stability? My battery is low, so I might not be able to respond to all of you. I'm open to any advice or perspective on this matter. Thanks in advance, Reddit. If you liked this video, you'll probably like these too. Also, while you're here, please consider subscribing. It's your support that keeps this channel alive and allows me to make better and longer videos. Have a great day.